Welcome back. This week, the Florida State Supreme Court will decide if an illegal immigrant can be admitted to the Florida State Bar to be an attorney. Jose Godin Sempero was brought to the United States illegally by his parents when he was 9 years old, but now after graduating top of his law school class and passing the bar, should he be allowed to practice law? Joining us for a fair and balanced debate is attorney and former U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Kendall Coffey, and immigration attorney and former Miami-Dade County Court Judge, Ada Pozo. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning,
Steve.
Ada, let's start with you. You say even though this guy is technically in the country illegally, let him be a lawyer.
Well, I think what we have to point out here is what you stated at the onset, that this young man was brought here as a child. He was brought here when he was 9 years old. He came on a tourist visa with his parents, and his parents chose to overstay. This was not his decision. And I think that he exemplifies why we need the DREAM Act so bad, which is the act designed, we've been trying to pass it for years so that people like him, people that are trying to live the American dream, that have not committed crimes, that are not living under the radar, that have graduated from school and want to contribute towards society, can do so legally.
Yeah, and Kendall, she makes a good point. He's a smart guy. We'd be lucky to have him as an attorney, but still, attorneys are in charge of, looking into the rule of law and trying to make sure that the laws are dealt with appropriately. If he didn't, he's known for a while, he wasn't in this country legally. He should have signed the guest book. Get in line.
Well, he's a wonderful guy, and it seems like he makes a great case for the DREAM Act. But the question in this instance isn't should he stay in this country, but should he become a lawyer in Florida? And I think a lawyer's responsibilities, as stated in our preamble, are pretty clear. A lawyer's conduct should conform to the requirements of law, including in his personal affairs. I don't see how that's possible here, given the present position. A lawyer is supposed to be an officer of the legal system and, in effect, maintaining public respect for the rule of law. I don't see how, in his present position, living outside the law, he can meet that part of the job description.
Okay, Ada, I want you to respond to this. This is what his attorney says. Jose did not try to fake it. He admitted to the bar and to the Florida State Law School that he was an undocumented immigrant. The Board of Examiners has no business acting like it's ICE or the Department of Justice, because the Department of Justice and ICE have indicated that they are not going to deport people like Jose. Your response?
Absolutely. As we saw in June, that there was a Morton memo that was passed by John Morton, which basically laid down the Obama administration's priority to deport people that are here illegally and have committed crimes. And it gave a list of specifications of people that should be allowed to remain here, be given a work permit, not necessarily lawful permanent resident status at this point, or citizenship in the future, but allowed to work here legally. And this young man fits exactly the criteria that was under the Morton memo, the criteria that was laid out last June. So we should allow him to, under that memo, under that policy, to get a work permit, work legally in this country, and contribute towards society, rather than, lots of arguments are made.
All right, Kendall.
That this young man, had he dropped out of high school, gotten married, worked menial jobs, not paid taxes, lived under the radar, he'd be a citizen by now.
Kendall,
but he
a
did
quick rebuttal.
everything correctly.
I agree he's a wonderful guy, but it's still a big deal to be a lawyer. And it's not enough to embody the unfairness of law. You have to embody the rule of law. And up to now, that's not something he's in a position to do.
All right, we'd love to hear from the folks watching right now who's right on this topic. Kendall Coffey and Ada Pozo, we thank you both for joining us today from South Florida. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.